Hey there, I'm back. And this week we're going to take a look at movies opening up here on Slashin' Up the Charts. And this is the second episode. This is the weekend of the 20th, actually. And we've got a couple of movies opening up in wide releases, a few smaller releases that hopefully will expand. Well, one we know is going to expand, one hopefully that can expand in the coming weeks. So let's see, the big movie opening up this weekend that I think a lot of people are going to predict, including me actually, in the top spot, though it might be closer than some people predict, is Prisoners. So because of that, I got more of a, for a drama film, I've got more of a Regal look, drama serious, but kind of canceled out. But anyways, I'll try to keep that covered up so you don't see it. Anyway, so this film, Prisoners, it's got a great cast in it. You've got Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal are kind of the two co-leads, and then you've got Melissa Leo and Terrence Howard. There's a few others in there, but it's a really well-rounded cast, and it's got a director who's gosh, I can't remember the director's name now, but I know he's not from this country. I think I heard Canada. I might be wrong on that. Don't take my word for that. But he's evidently his last two films, which I have not seen, have done pretty well with critics, and this one kind of surprised at what was it, Telluride, I think? Yeah, it's surprised at the Telluride, and I have to say, seeing I saw the trailer before the Telluride premiere, and I didn't see it there, by the way, and I was like, this looks kind of wishy-washy. I said, it's I'm sure it'll be okay. I said, but there must be something wrong with it, because I didn't think that it was going to be a big awards contender. And then all of a sudden, Telluride, it comes out and people are going off the walls, saying this is going to be a big contender actually in a few categories. Personally, just from the looks, I have seen the trailer again, and anyways, I couldn't remember where I saw it, but yeah, now I remember where I saw it. And I think Jackman, this year does look like it's going to be a strong year for the Best Actor category. Already we've seen a few performances that are really kicking butt. Forrest Whitaker, I think, right now is my favorite in The Butler. Lee Daniels, The Butler, rather. Miles Teller was also great in Spectacular Now, but I think his chances are slimming down. Let me think, what else? I know that Chris Hemsworth is getting a lot of good reviews for Rush. And there's a few other ones that we haven't seen yet that are getting really good reviews, like the 12 Years a Slave, Chiwetel Ejiofor, I think is how you pronounce it. I know I'm wrong on the last name, but Chiwetel is his first name. And anyways, a lot of people are saying that he's going to get a big-time Oscar nomination. I hope so, because that looks like it would be a really nice role. 12 Years a Slave is that film. And for a slave main character like that to be nominated for Best Actor, I think would be a good choice, or a great choice, really. And it looks like he gives a really good performance. Also, Christian Bale in American Hustle. That's one that hasn't gotten any reviews yet, but a lot of people are saying he's good in that. And there was one other one I'm trying to think of off the top of my head. Some people are saying Joseph Gordon-Levitt might have a chance, actually, at Oscar with Don John. And I'd have to wait and see that one. But anyways, Prisoners, I have a mutual interest in seeing. And Jake Gyllenhaal, of course, is in it, too, alongside Hugh Jackman. So Gyllenhaal, I think, might get a little Oscar buzz. I don't think it's going to work to his advantage, though. It would be like him trying to get an Oscar last year for End of Watch, where he gave a good performance, but it was just the field is too competitive. And in the supporting category, also this year, he was in lead technically last year. This year, I think it's also going to be a pretty strong field. So I think we just have to wait and see. I don't know where to go on that with Hugh Jackman's Oscar chances. Right now, they're pretty slim. But if Prisoners can get a good audience and get a good amount of buzz going about it, and it's already got a pretty good buzz right now, I'd say the chances are actually pretty good of it getting at least considered, for an Oscar nomination for at least actor for Hugh Jackman. About Best Picture and Best Director, I think right now are not looking very good. Outlook, or as Magic 8 Ball would say, outlook not good. Anyways, but Prisoners does look like it's a solid film, a very kind of a little disturbing thriller. So yeah, I have a mutual interest. I might, just depending on what I do this weekend, I might go and try and see it. I was already at the movies last week. I had to go out of town, and I did see Spectacular Now again. Just as good the second time around, by the way. So if you haven't seen that yet, I know it expanded into 700 some theaters now. So it's catching on. Audiences are going to see it too, and it's made. I think it'll be close to $6 million, hopefully by tomorrow, or by the end of today. And going into this weekend, it'll have $6 million already grossed. So, as far as what Prisoners can do at the box office, I think they are going to come out in the top spot. But it's Insidious 2, or rather Insidious Chapter 2, is definitely looking to repeat. It might, the chances there are almost a coin flip, basically, when you get down to it. I think because of the draw that Hugh Jackman has, and because he did recently do a Wolverine movie, just this same year actually, I should say, and he's going to do another one this next year, Days of Future Past, I think the audiences are kind of, and then with also Les Mis giving him an Oscar nod last year, I think he is gaining momentum in the box office draw. So I think the chances actually of this coming out on top are way better than some are saying. But I've seen predictions for this all over pretty much all over the road in the $20 million range. I've seen some that are slightly below $20 million. I've seen some that are almost to 30. I'm going to go with a prediction of $22.1 million. And I might as well get out of the way. Insidious Chapter 2, I think, is going to hold a little bit better than most horror films. Like The Conjuring held spectacularly well through the summer. And it's close to $140 million now. So, and that's one of the highest grossing horror films we've seen in a decade at least. So, I think Insidious Chapter 2, since Conjuring is so recent, and because this is getting about as good an audience, it's going to hold well, but not as well as Conjuring. So I'm going with their prediction of 20.9, of a prediction, 20.9 for Insidious Chapter 2. So that's a close one. And also opening this weekend is this movie, Battle of the Year, The Dream Team. I'm going to pause and look up the Wikipedia page to see if this is even a movie for a second. Hang on. Okay, that was a little joke. Don't worry. Battle of the Year, The Dream Team. This looks like Step Up the ripoff, to coin a phrase of what would potentially be a Step Up sequel. But they're doing a Step Up 5, I heard recently, so. This dance movie genre is still alive and still kicking. But I wonder if it's going to last too long, because really, I don't think we need to see another one of these movies. I don't think we even need to see another Step Up movie, because I can just tell you, from not watching any of the other ones and having no interest whatsoever in the genre myself, I am going to check out. I am not going to come close to considering this movie nor any other Step Up movie as potentially watchable. I just don't get into this at all. The MTV dance around, fool around, maybe get a little drunk and punch people genre like this, I just despise this. I hate this almost as much as the freaking like Twilight and chick flick stuff. I also hate it about as much as you see them all the time, those really stupid comedies that are like trying to be the teenage version of The Hangover. We got like 21 and Over was one of them. Project X was another one. I just don't. I check out of those too. I just don't even dare to go near those. I just, you see a poster for it, advertised, whatever. Yeah, keep walking by. You don't go and see it. Battle of the Year, the Dream Team, rather. This dance epic, so to speak. I think its theater count is only in the 2000s, so that's a sure sign that they're not really pushing it probably as much as they should be. I think this was supposed to come out earlier, too. They did have a last-second schedule change on it. So, really, though, I can't think of any reason why this film would do well at all besides the fact that teenagers always go in for this, and also young adults that like to dance. And no offense to you, dancing it's a good it's something good for you to do. At least you're not smoking marijuana, hopefully, at the same time. So, still, I think if you just hit the books and get smarter, you'll get over this. I still think that the number there is going to be a really relatively small number. I'm going to go with like 9 million even on that one. It's got like Josh Peck, remember him from that with that kind of silly but at the same time not entirely horrible, at least in my opinion, Drake and Josh, which I used to watch when I was a smaller kid. I never really thought it was never my favorite show. I never really laughed at it. I just kind of liked the energy that the two stars put into it, especially Peck, who I think in his comedic values at least, he could get a nice supporting role in something like Hangover or whatever, and not like Red Dawn, and certainly not in this Battle of the Year nonsense. So anyways, yeah, put Josh Peck in something like The Hangover or something like that he can be comedic in, but at the same time that also shows he's not just for this crap. Like he was in that a few years ago, it was that Owen Wilson movie. He was like a gung-ho guy. He was supposed to be like a colonel or something. Drillbit Taylor, that's it. I almost had to say you'll have to look it up for me and I'll get back to you later on it. But Drillbit Taylor, and that movie was not very good, and Josh Peck was not given a very good role for it, so he needs to stay away from that too. Anyways, but I just doubt that this movie is going to get anything close to an audience this weekend. So I would say avoid that one. I would say avoid that one at all costs. And the prediction there is 9 million. And I would say at this point that's probably going to be good enough for third place. But it's a weak third place. Okay, I've got to get going here. So I'll make the rest of this pretty brief here. We've got two movies opening in limited release, or at least somewhat limited release, that are hoping to or going to expand in the coming weeks. The first of which is a reissue 3D IMAX version of The Wizard of Oz. Personally, if you live in this century and have no idea what Wizard of Oz is, I'm just gonna beat your head in, because this seriously is a movie that I think everybody should watch, not just as a child. And parents out there, if you have not shown your kid Wizard of Oz, no matter how old they are, because I was really, really young, I think, when my grandmother happened to come across a copy of it, bought it, and I had to have been only a few months old. She put it in for me, and I watched it. And, ever since, yeah, I love the movie. It's one of probably Hollywood's greatest fantasy epics for children's stories alone, without all the whole thing of it being a big, grand movie with great production values and tremendous sets and stuff like that. Just alone, the story of Wizard of Oz is so fascinating, and the jokes they put in there are funny. And anyways, it's, even though the 3D gimmick really I don't go for, this is one, like Raiders of the Lost Ark in IMAX. I said, well, at least it's not 3D IMAX. I went to see Raiders of the Lost Ark when that was out in IMAX a couple years ago. Or no, that was just last year. And this one, I'm holding out. I might go see it. Because, of course, everybody should see Wizard of Oz at one time or another. Even if it's not on the big screen, just see the movie is all I'm worried about. And so that's something. It's in 300 some theaters, close to 300, maybe 315, 320, something like that. So if it's around, yeah, I would recommend, especially if you're a parent, go see this movie. And I think since there's not a whole lot else out there, I think this is going to score in the top 10. I think it's going to be more toward the 7th spot, really. I'm going to go with a prediction there of, let's see, it's only in 300 theaters, but I'm expecting it to get at least, what would it be? It would be $10,000 theaters. So I'm going to go with, I'm just going to say it's going to nip just short of that, 2.9 million. So that's going to be enough probably for a good 6th or 7th spot. somewhere in there, below the top 5. But hopefully, people go see it, it catches on, and it's extended in its release, which I think is only going to be a week or two, and goes into October, more toward Halloween. And funny, because of course, who doesn't see a Wicked Witch of the West every Halloween? And for it to be out in October, oh, that'd be ideal. That would totally be ideal. So I recommend you go see that. Also opening in only about 5 theaters, Universal's Rush, directed by Ron Howard, and with Thor, Chris Hemsworth as the star, and also this guy, David, I think it's Brun, pronounced Brun, and he's kind of like a European actor. Also in supporting category, in the supporting roles are like Olivia Wilde's in it, and I think somebody else that I recognize from the commercial was in it. Anyways, this Rush movie is getting a lot of good praise, and I honestly though I did see the trailer when it came out a few months ago, and I thought it did look like it was going to be a really great, entertaining movie, and I'm definitely going to go see it because it expands into wide release next week, so I'm hoping that it comes around my local theater at least, and I can go see it that weekend. If not, yeah, I'll catch it. I'll catch it eventually, because it's from what I've been hearing, it's actually a really good shot, not just at a Best Picture nomination, but also a Best Director and a Best Actor nomination, and also a good chance for a Best Supporting Actor nomination for this Brun guy, David. And all I have to say is, with only 5 theaters, it's probably going to get a really good at least $350,000 start in 5 theaters, which is really good per theater averages, of course. But yeah, I'm going to say for this one, if you're near it, the reviews are reflecting upon me enough to say, go see it. Go see it, and it looks really, really good. Until then, until next week rather, then when it's more on a wide scale, I can say, yeah, definitely check it out. But it's Rush, directed by Ron Howard, starring Thor, Chris Hemsworth, and this David Brun from Europe. So yeah, I'm going to recommend that as well. Okay, and here I'll come back here in just a second, and I'll have the top 10 for you. Okay, real quick, I didn't quite give you the theater count for Prisoners. That was about 3,200, and the more accurate for this Battle of the Year nonsense is just a little over 2,000. So yeah, that's that. So the top 10 for this week, I think number 1 is going to be Prisoners. My prediction there again was 22.1 million. I would say 22.2? No, 22.1. I was going to say 22.2. That's why I had to stop there for a second. But it's my prediction, 22.1 million. Also, for a prediction, the number 2 spot I had Insidious Chapter 2 with like 20.9. That was it. Yeah, 20.9. So I think that's going to be a close battle there. Speaking of battles, number 3. Battle of the Year, the Dream Team. I almost said the Dance Team. Like, that's like 3 times. Anyways, I have not seen a whole lot of advertising for it. Theater count not very high. $9 million, my prediction stands. Number 4 spot, I think we're going to find The Family, definitely dropping off a little bit. Number 5, I think we're going to have, it could actually be one of any 3 films. It could be Riddick, which is now dropping, I think, close to 1,000 theaters at least, or something like that. It's dropping a few theaters, and then also there's a possibility we could see Lee Daniels, the Butler, in the 5th spot, and still possible We're the Millers, which is really doing great business. Still, what is this now? Over a month in release for a comedy like this to still be in the top 5 is you don't see that a whole lot. So yeah. Anyway, so the 5th spot is really a mystery at this point. I'm going to go with it being Riddick, followed by number 6, Lee Daniels, the Butler, followed by number 7, We're the Millers. In the 8th spot, I have decided is going to be Wizard of Oz, 3D re-release. Number 9 spot, I think we're going to see the Instructions Not Included. I think that movie's buzz is starting to drop a little bit. And it's only going into a couple more screens now. And then to finish off the top 10, I think we're going to see the Disney's Planes in 3D. So that's that. As far as personal recommendations for you, I think Prisoners looks like a good enough movie, and the reviews are strong enough for me to say, for a new movie, if you have any iota of interest in it, and particularly any iota of interest in Hugh Jackman, go see him in this. I think he's got a good chance being nominated for an Oscar, and I think he's got a good chance too of being really good in the movie and getting a good fan base for this and getting a good box office draw. So that's my recommendation there. Once again, if there's a movie that's been around a while that you and now by now getting close to a wide release, The Spectacular Now, I still recommend, if you haven't seen it yet, if you've seen the trailer, whatever, I recommend you go see it. I think it is so far the best movie of the year, and as far as and this takes a lot of gut for me to say, but last year's best movie of the year was Argo. And the reason I said that film is the best film of the year is because it fits its genre like a glove. You get it? Yeah. It fits its genre just like you fit your hand into a glove. It is exactly what you want out of a thriller, action thriller. It's got a little bit of suspension of disbelief, tiny bit. Of course, it's the movies. It's got action, sort of. It's got gunfire. It's got all that. It's got the thrilling, tense scenes where you're gripping the theater armchair seat there, and the armrest rather. And it's also got some comedy, some offbeat comedy moments too. So in that way, yeah, Argo is best film of the year. In the same way, for a romantic comedy that tries to be something more, films like Silver Linings Playbook last year. The Spectacular Now fits it like a glove. Absolutely. It's got some elements of comedy, not a whole lot. Some of you might be surprised by. It does have a lot of really, really good scenes between the two stars, and their chemistry, by the way, is absolutely blow you out of the water good. And really, all I have to say is, if you've seen the trailer and you haven't seen the movie yet, get off your lazy butt and go see the movie, because you're going to love it. If you love the trailer for the movie, this is the movie to see, I think. And I'm really hoping that A24 Pictures, which is new, it's really new, it just started this year, this is going to be their second highest grossing film of all time out of like 4 movies or whatever. But anyways, they had that Spring Breakers back in, April, March, whenever that came out. And that had actually a pretty good run. It had like 12, 13, $14 million. Good numbers. Here, I think if A24, if they can push right now what they need to do, because I would love to see this get a big Oscar push and a few Oscar nominations. Of course, right now I'd love to see it win Best Picture, but I don't think it's going to happen right now. But they can change that. They can change that very quickly. So if A24 Pictures, you're listening to this, or a representative, or somebody who can contact them, here's what you got to do. Number one, you got to push your advertising a little bit. Even though your movie's been out for a month in actual release in theaters, push your marketing. Get it out there for your consideration videos. Number two, increase your theater count just a little bit more, closer to the actual wide release line of 1,000 theaters. And number three, you've got to get your actors back in and start doing interviews and stuff with like Howard Stern, somebody like that. Well, of course, you're not going to get that tomorrow, of course. No, that takes a while. But get them with, on talk shows and stuff that people everywhere listen to or see. And boom, you're going to have a great Oscar campaign. So I think that's it. I'll step off my soapbox and say predictions this weekend: 22.1 million for Prisoners. Close number one battle there. And this dance, whatever, schlock film, 9 million. But definitely I recommend you go see Prisoners. Just based off the reviews, it looks like it's going to get some good attention. And also The Spectacular Now. And if you haven't seen it yet, Lee Daniels the Butler, if you're into that and you haven't seen it yet, go see it. That's another good one. So that's that. And I'll wrap this up quick, saying good luck to all you new films, and adieu.